Welcome into Florida Live. I'm Marlisa Goldsmith in for Garrett Weimer today. Thanks for joining us on this fabulous Friday afternoon, live on Fox Local, YouTube, and Fox 35 TV. We have a great show for you today. Coming up on Florida Live, Rolex 24 weekend is well underway at Daytona International Speedway. Plus, more than a dozen students sent to the hospital after a carbon monoxide leak. And we're going to have the latest on this wild winter storm much of the country is about to experience. One of Governor Ron DeSantis' toughest critics now running for the U.S. Senate. There's a huge race out at Daytona International Speedway happening this weekend. The Rolex 24, of course. Infield camping is open and fans are going to be out all weekend long. Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Laurel Blanchard joins me now. Hi there, Laurel.
Hey Marlisa, the energy is already electric and you can already hear the race cars going by, and this is just going to be a weekend filled with racing. And so with that, there's going to be a lot of temperature changes, but luckily what's going to remain consistent is that we are going to be seeing those clear skies, but something that really we're going to be watching for, again, is that temperature fluctuation, which we were talking with one of the engineers a little bit earlier on in the week, and temperature is one of the main points that all of the teams really use in order to make sure that they are attacking this race right. Here's, for example, especially when the temperature gets warm, it heats up the track, and that really puts a number on the tires. So they have different tires in order to make sure that the temperature and the tire grip is perfect so the car can do its most efficient speed, because that's going to be the number one thing, is the speed for this race. And that's overall what we're going to be continuing to see, is a lot of speed. Taking a look at the weekend ahead. If you are coming out to the Rolex 24, bring your sunscreen. You can see that that sun is bright and it's going to be shining all weekend long. Marlisa, we'll send it back to you from Daytona International Speedway at the Rolex 24. Meteorologist Laurel Blanchard, back to you.
Laurel, thank you so much. So fascinating how this weather is impacting the people who will be racing here, especially in comparison to what folks are dealing with across the rest of the nation. Laurel, thanks so much for that report. We appreciate it. All right, as we head to break, let's go ahead and take a live look over Daytona Beach from our Hard Rock Hotel camera. Look at that gorgeous view. Couldn't even paint a better picture if I tried. Don't go too far. Florida Live will be right back.
Jennifer Cassie vanished without a trace.
This was her home here in Orlando, the last place she was seen alive.
Decades passed, but secrets remained.
I miss her every single day.
Now, the breakthrough that could unravel it all. Fox 35 Docs presents Jennifer Cassie, tonight at 7. Witness history. Fox 35 wants to send you to the World Center of Racing for the Daytona 500, February 15th. Visit fox35orlando.com for your chance to win tickets to the great American race, the Daytona 500, only on Fox 35. Enter now.
Police are riding up and down the street. It's too much noise.
She was actually forced out and the party was over.
Judge Judy. Monday at 3 on Fox 35.
Welcome back into Florida Live. It's time now for our Tampa Connection, and we're going to go out to Fox 13 Tampa digital content producer Nancy Gay. Hi there, Nancy.
Hi, Marlisa. How's it going today?
Pretty good. I can't complain with the type of weather we're seeing here in Central Florida, right?
I know, it's beautiful, and it should be beautiful this weekend. Here in Tampa, we have the Children's Gasparilla Parade, so we're definitely grateful for some beautiful weather this weekend.
Oh, yes.
Marlisa?
Fox 13 Tampa senior content producer Nancy Gay, thanks so much for the updates to those stories. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go ahead and kick things over to Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist TJ Springer for our Florida Live forecast on this Friday. TJ, I don't know if you can feel it, but I am so excited that we are living in Florida this weekend.
I know, I feel like a lot of the nation, Marlisa, going to deal with old man winter in a big way.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be brutal.
Yeah, I feel like brutal is definitely a word to describe it. And for many, this is going to snarl traffic, not going to be good. And that's kind of the impact that we'll likely be seeing here, at least this weekend. Travel impacts in and out of Orlando, especially through the air. Travel delays, if you are trying to travel on the roadways as well, not going to be advised, especially as we start to see this wintry system work its way eastbound. Here it is right now. We can see showers across central Texas, a little bit of snow in eastern New Mexico, and some snow to the north across Kansas, Nebraska, back into Colorado. That's some of that upper level energy, but eventually this is going to be the system that starts to gather more steam. With more moisture, it's going to lift and encounter more of that cold as it starts to work off to the east-northeast. And that is why we see millions of people in the pink there. Those are winter storm warnings for heavy amounts of snow, and in the darker shade of purple, those are ice storm warnings for heavy amounts of ice, crippling amounts of ice that could take down power lines, trees, and really keep people in their homes for the long hauls. That's something we'll have to watch as we head through the next couple of days, how much ice falls, because even say a half of an inch of ice, that can start to take down tree limbs and in turn take down power lines as well. But notice, winter storm warnings all the way up into New England now, and they extend westbound all the way back into portions of essentially New Mexico, into Kansas through Missouri, right up into the Ohio Valley in the mid-Atlantic. And that's where we're going to see that snow potentially topping out beyond 1.5 feet in some isolated spots. So let's time it out here on our Fox weather model. You can see that cold air pumping down into the system with that area of high pressure. This is Arctic air, so that's why we're seeing the clash of the warmth and the moisture leading to the wintry weather. But notice what happens. Even though we still have that air that's cold enough, it doesn't mean that the whole atmosphere is cold. That's why we're seeing that potential for ice across portions of Arkansas, East Texas, into Mississippi, and northern Louisiana as well. But on the colder side, where the moisture is encountering that deeper cold, we're seeing more snow across Missouri and Kentucky, the Ohio Valley. But notice, we start to see an area of low pressure that develops along the coast. We call this a Miller B system, and that means that we start to see the system across the interior of the nation transfers energy to the coastal low, and that's the one that actually takes over. But between the two, where you start to see some of that warm air working up into the system, that's where we're seeing that chance of that snow turning over to sleet and freezing rain, which is what leads to that ice, that glaze of ice on the trees and cars and the roads. And that's why we're going to see that the precipitation type kind of differ from north to south. But eventually we do see this lift up into New England, and you can see the snow still falling into Monday afternoon across places like Maine, New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut. Essentially the entire northern and eastern portion of the nation still dealing with the system as it works away. Now we get in on the chill, but it's going to be a little while before that happens. So that's what's going to be the headline for us early next week in central Florida, not the wintry weather, at least the snow, the ice, and the sleet. In terms of the snow though, you can see those shades of purples and pinks all the way back into Kansas and Oklahoma, extending all the way up into the northeast. That's where snowfall amounts could be rising beyond the foot mark, potentially getting up to 1.5 feet. Now in terms of the ice, you can see the darker shades of pink as we head through time. That's where we could have those ice amounts potentially rising beyond 1/2 inch to 1 inch, if not even more than that. So a lot to unpack, a lot to iron out. But Melissa, all I can say is that if anyone has travel plans, be sure they're checking the latest forecast and checking in with their airlines as well.
Absolutely, TJ. I had some family who were supposed to be traveling this weekend and they canceled their flights. Thank goodness they were paying attention to the weather ahead of time.
My dad too was supposed to be on Sunday,
really?
So we'll see if he makes it out of Baltimore. I don't think that's going to be the case.
Yeah, they'll be dealing with a lot up there. That's for sure. TJ, thanks so much. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Melissa.
All right, taking a look over Port Canaveral through our Launch Credit Union camera as we head to break here on Florida Live. A gorgeous view out there. We'll be right back. Welcome back into Florida Live. I'm Arlisa Goldsmith in for Garrett Weimer on this Friday. Thanks for joining us on Fox Local, YouTube, and Fox 35 TV. We continue to follow reports of ICE eyeing an Orlando warehouse as one of their newest immigration detention facilities. Local organizations like the Hope Community Center are now calling on Orange County leaders to sue Governor Ron DeSantis and the state to stop these facilities from operating here in Central Florida. Earlier today, Fox 35 spoke with the executive director of the Hope Community Center about why he's recommending this course of action. Let's take a listen. All right, let's go ahead and take a live look over Orlando this Friday afternoon. A gorgeous view of the city, beautiful. You're watching Florida Live. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome Welcome back into Florida Live on this Friday afternoon. Again, I'm Marlisa Goldsmith. Happy to be here with you today. Florida's coastal communities continued to fight the Trump administration's proposal to drill off Florida's Gulf Coast. And this morning, there were leaders in St. Petersburg who argued that drilling would actually destroy the coastline and local businesses. So here's some of what they had to say. All right, you are watching Florida Live here on this Friday afternoon. As we head to break, let's take a look at Evermore. Look at that gorgeous destination right here in Central Florida. Don't go too far. We'll be right back. Join the conversation. The 407 is all about you.
This is an entertainer's dream view.
This isn't just a show. This is your space to share what matters most to you. Be our guest, tell your story, and join the action. They bring real snow and ice to the Sunshine State. Don't just watch, be a part of it. Meet me at 4 on the 407.
Time and temperature sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome back into Florida Live. I'm Marlisa Goldsmith. We are in for a beautiful weekend. We're talking highs in the 70s this weekend, folks. And tonight, the Tampa Bay Lightning are getting ready to play hockey outside at Raymond James Stadium. Here's what some of the players had to say about tonight's big matchup against the Chicago Blackhawks for the NHL's Stadium Series. How exciting. That's going to be such a great game to watch outdoors. All right, well, that's going to do it for us here on Florida Live. Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful Friday. Coming up on the 407 in just an hour, it is Foodie Friday, or should I say Friday. We have so much food that's going to be on the show, including a food truck with French fries, one of my favorites, and we might do something with the pie competition because, after all, today is Pie Day, and we are excited about it. I'll see you soon on the 407 on Fox 35 at 4. Until afternoon.